Honestly, justice for Zombies 3. Like, I just want to start off by saying that. Hello everyone, my name is Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So if you will recall, about a year ago I did a video recapping what the most streamed Disney Channel songs on Spotify were for that year. But I didn't actually have the exact numbers for that year, and so I ended up using the numbers from 2 years prior, so it was kind of like a Spotify Wrapped for 2020 to 2021. But I was actually a smart gal last year in the fact that I took note of all of the numbers of the Disney Channel songs on Spotify last year, and that way I could compare them to the numbers from this year. And so last year I only took note of one song per show or movie, but this year, however, I did not do that because I had a lot more data and it was a lot more diverse than it was from last year. So I put the official top 100 list as a playlist on Spotify, so I'll put the link in the description down below so you can go and check that out. But in this video, we're only going to be going over the top 20 with one song per show or movie, just so that it's not super repetitive. But I did decide to include one song per season this time instead of just one per show, just so that it's more comparable to the movies with all of their sequels and such. We're also going to be going over the top 10 most streamed songs put out this year by ex-Disney Channel acts. The playlist is top 20, so I'll put that in the link down below, but we're just going to go over the top 10, and just like last year, we're only doing one song per artist. And one last thing before we jump right into it, I did make a third playlist last year that was kind of to highlight what Disney Channel had done in that past year, and I decided not to do that this year, mainly just because I felt like the playlist would be very sad. Like, I feel like Disney Channel has kind of been lacking in the songs department this past year. I feel like the only really thing of note that they put out that was music related would be Zombies 3, which I love, but it didn't even make it into the top 20, which is so incredibly sad. So please, please, please go stream Zombies 3. Like, that's the moral of the story with this video. But yes, I believe that is all I have to preface. Oh, also last year I showed my Wrapped, so here it is again in case anybody's curious. The one thing I have to say is that the only Disney Channel song that made my Wrapped this year was Gritarle al Mundo from Bia, which, like, I feel like I'll just, like, let that say what it does about me. Apparently, I was in sad girl hours for the entirety of this year, which is honestly pretty accurate. But yes, I believe that is all I have to say, so with all that being said, let's jump right into this top 20. Alright, so at number 20, we have We Own the Night from Zombies 2 with, I think, over 11 million streams. Yes. So I'm not sure if I was aware of this fact last year when I talked about this song, but I have since been informed that the reason why this song is the most streamed song from the Zombies 2 soundtrack is because it kind of went viral on TikTok with the furry community, or maybe just with, like, the wolf community, and the fact that people would use this song to, like, make wolf TikToks, which I think is kind of cool. And so I'm also glad that it's creating more streams for Zombies, because it's one of my personal favorite franchises, and so that is We Own the Night at number 20. At number 19 is The Best of Both Worlds from Hannah Montana, so it got 14 million streams this past year, which is not surprising. I feel like this song will forever continue being one of the most streamed Disney Channel songs. It's one of the most iconic Disney Channel theme songs, and it kind of makes me happy that, like, people are still streaming it even to this day. There is another version of this song as well, the version from the movie, but I personally feel like this version, I don't know, there's something more nostalgic about it because it is like the original version from the show. And so yes, that is The Best of Both Worlds at number 19. Next, we have one that I'm very surprised by because I believe it was number 3 on our list from last year, but it made a big drop this year as it is now down to number 18. But it is Queen of Mean from Descendants 3. And so it got 15 million streams this year, which is obviously still a lot of streams. But to go from, like, whatever it was from last year down to number 18, like, that is a shocker for me, especially because I feel like people still love Descendants. I mean, I still love Descendants, and I'm still streaming my favorite songs, but Queen of Mean, I guess, isn't one of my favorites, so I'm not really streaming it as much. I still stream Night Falls and If Only. Did I mention Do What You Gotta Do? Like, my top Descendant songs I will probably forever listen to, but I guess I could understand why Queen of Mean maybe doesn't have that longevity that some of the other songs do, but I don't know, I felt like people really liked it, so this one really surprised me, but nonetheless, it's still in the top 20, so I'm glad about that. Moving on, we have Better in Stereo up next, the theme song from Liv and Maddie, but it's not the theme song version, it's the longer version that's at the end of the album, I believe. It had that music video with her and her friend Veronica, and it was kind of more of like a slowed down version of the song, which I was kind of surprised by because I figured, like, the theme song version would be the one that people are streaming because it's more memorable, but it kind of, I don't know, like, I feel like it's very fitting that this song is the one that is more popular because I personally feel like it's more of, like, a song you can just put on to listen to in comparison to the theme song, and it probably, like, doesn't get as old as fast. I don't know, did it go viral on TikTok? Maybe that was a thing as well. I feel like I'm so out of touch with, like, the Disney Channel trends on there. Maybe my algorithm just isn't giving me the content that I deserve. But yeah, that's Better in Stereo. Did I say how many streams it's gotten? I feel like I didn't. If I did, you're about to hear it again. It got 16 million this past year, and so that is better in stereo. Up next is Someday from Zombies with 16 million streams as well, which just makes me so happy to know that people are still streaming this song to this day. Definitely one of the most iconic Disney Channel songs, if you ask me. My personal favorite version of this song is the reprise from the second movie, which, like, it took me a little bit to decide because there are 4 different versions of this song, I believe. And so I, like, one day I just, like, needed to know which one was the best one, and so I just sat down and listened to them all. And I will say it did come close between, like, the full cast version and the reprise from the second movie, but I ultimately decided that that version is my favorite version. And so I'm very curious to know which version of Someday is your favorite. Please leave it in the comments down below. But yes, I hope Someday will forever remain on top. Or I guess not on top, it is only at number 16, but I hope it will forever remain near the top of the list because it's just such a great song and I love it, and I love Zed and Addison. What can I say? I'm a Zedison shipper through and through, which if you go back and watch, like, my old videos on zombies is kind of an interesting turn of events, but nonetheless, that is Someday, so let's move on to the next song. Next, we have Introducing Me from Camp Rock 2 with 18 million streams this past year, which I feel like is another big drop. Like, I think that this song was in the top 10 last year, but I have changed the rules a little bit. We do have multiple songs per show this time. And last year we were taking into account 2 years. So maybe that helped this song as well. But still, I don't know, I'm surprised that this one is a bit lower this time around. I'm also always surprised that Introducing Me has more streams than Wouldn't Change a Thing. Like, time and time again, it's always the one that comes up on top from this movie, which, I don't know, I guess just because when I think about Camp Rock 2, the first song that comes to mind would probably be Wouldn't Change a Thing, because I feel like that one kind of, like, encompasses the movie a lot better. But then there's this song, which is also just so great and catchy and quirky. And so I guess it makes sense that this song would be the more memorable one. Nonetheless, that is Introducing Me at number 15. At number 14, we have What's My Name from Descendants with 18 million streams this past year as well. And, like, listen, I love What's My Name, I love Uma, I love the little rap moment in this song, but part of me is just like, I don't know, a little bit sick of What's My Name always being the number 1 song from Descendants 2 when there are so many other great songs from the soundtrack, like You and Me, It's Going Down, Chillin' Like a Villain. Like, I personally feel like Chillin' Like a Villain is the best song from that movie, and I feel like people aren't streaming it enough. I don't know, maybe it was because it was released before the movie came out, so I was able to, like, get sick of it quicker, if that makes sense. I don't know what it is, but every time I see that this song is top of the list once again, I'm like, really? Out of all of the great Descendants 2 songs? Sorry if I sound salty. Like, I do like the song, I love Descendants 2, I love Uma, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's What's My Name at number 14. At number 13, we have I'll Always Remember You from Hannah Montana Forever, so that is the 4th season of the show. And at first I was like, really? Like, why is this song getting so many streams? And then my friend Emma reminded me that it's literally, like, used as a graduation song, and I was like, oh right, duh. And I also think she said that it might have gone a bit viral on TikTok this year, but I did not double check to see if that is correct information. Either way, people are streaming it, and I love that for them. I'm not one of those people, but if you are, good job. Keep at it. I hope you're having a great day today. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. At number 12 is Can I Have This Dance from High School Musical 3. This song received over 19 million streams this year. I believe it was the most popular song from the third movie last year as well, and it's the most popular song on YouTube. People love Can I Have This Dance, and I'm happy for them. I think it's a great song. I love the moment in the movie when it starts raining. Very romantic and iconic, and Troy and Gabriella are pretty great. So that's why, I don't know, I guess I'm okay with it being here. I have no complaints. On to the next. Now, number 11 is pretty surprising to me. Like, I feel like I'd expect this one in the top 5 or top 10 at least. And so the fact that it didn't crack that top 10 this year, I feel like is a surprising fate. It is This Is Me from Camp Rock with over 20 million streams this past year. This song is obviously without a doubt one of the most iconic Disney Channel songs of all time. People love it. I feel like it kind of broke through that Disney Channel mold and kind of became a part of mainstream culture, and only a few other Disney Channel songs I feel like were really able to do that. I love This Is Me. My personal favorite version of the song is the acoustic version. I think it's called that, or it might be called something else, solo version or something, but the version with Demi on the piano, that's my all-time favorite version of this song. But I do still like the original as well, and I'm glad that it's still being streamed to this day. It's iconic, and yep, we stan. So that's why it is number 11. Actually, I said that like I was the one who placed it. That's why you guys have it at number 11, I assume. All right, so at number 10, we have He Could Be the One from Hannah Montana. I believe this song was from the 3rd season. Yeah, that sounds right to me. And so yes, He Could Be the One from Hannah Montana with over 22 million streams. Now, obviously this song I feel like is usually the most streamed Hannah Montana song, but I feel like even more so this year because it did kind of have that like viral moment on TikTok, which was fun. I enjoyed seeing He Could Be the One on my For You page. I love that song and it never gets old as far as I'm concerned. And so yeah, it being in the top 10 is not surprising to me whatsoever. So let's move on to number 9. Next we have Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2, also with 22 million million streams this past year. And I mean, like, I know I've said this a million times, but are we surprised? Probably not. This one is another one of the most iconic Disney Channel songs of all time, and I feel like it will forever remain that way. No matter how much time passes, people will still go back to this song because it is so comforting and nostalgic, and it's just a fun song, especially to sing along to by yourself. Like, singing both of the parts, especially in the bridge, like, iconic. We love to see it. And so yeah, that's got to go my own way at number 9. Now this next one, I was not expecting for it to be the most streamed song from this movie at all, but it is Fallin' For Ya from Teen Beach, with also over 22 million streams this past year. Now, usually when it comes to Teen Beach, I feel like Cruisin' For a Bruisin' or Meant to Be is the one that takes the crown, and so to see this one kind of come out of nowhere and win, I was just like, all right, like, sounds good to me. I love a change. I even went and checked out TikTok. I was like, did it go viral? And I just missed it. I don't believe that it did, but you guys can let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Maybe I just missed something. But nonetheless, Fallin' For Ya is at number 8, which I like. I like to see a change. It's more fun that way. And so yeah, let's move on to number 7. All right, the Rose song from High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 2. This song received over 23 million streams this past year, which I feel like is to be expected. It's Olivia Rodrigo. People love Olivia Rodrigo, and they do not mess around when it comes to streaming her music. Even when she didn't even release anything new last year, people were still streaming her High School Musical songs, which is great. I think that that's awesome. Good for her. And so yeah, number 7. At number 6, we have Breaking Free from High School Musical. This song received over 24 million streams this past year, which again, another one that's not surprising to me. People love Breaking Free. People love High School Musical. We love Troy and Gabriella. We love a beautiful duet moment that is symbolic to the whole story of the film. Breaking Free is usually near the top as well, so this one I'm like, yeah, Breaking Free, okay, on to the next. But if you really like Breaking Free and you want me to talk about it more, I don't know what else to say, so I apologize. I don't know. Let's move on to number 5. At number 5, we have a song that I was very excited to see this high up on the list, and it is She's So Gone from Lemonade Mouth. It received 25 million streams this past year, which just made me so happy because I am such a Lemonade Mouth stan and such a She's So Gone stan. Like, this is honestly one of the best songs from the movie, and I'm very just happy to see it finally getting the recognition that it deserves. I believe my friend Emma said that this is another one that kind of went viral on TikTok this year, which just, it makes me happy because I feel like it deserves that. Like, when I went to the Lemonade Mouth soundtrack, I just like expected Determinate to be the most streamed song, and then it was She's So Gone, and that was a very pleasant surprise, and I feel like we need to keep this work up for next year. I would love to see this one be even higher. So let's get to it, guys. I'm on it if you're on it. So we're all in this together, as they say in High School Musical. But yes, on to number 4. At number 4, we have another song that I'm super excited about, as it is my personal favorite Descendants song, which is, of course, If Only from the first Descendants film. And this song received over 36 million streams this past year, which, like, just compare that to the last few songs on this list, like, that is such a big jump, and I feel like it 100% deserves it. I absolutely love this song. I feel like it never gets old. It's one of the few Disney Channel songs that I feel like I'm just always in the mood to listen to, no matter what, which I feel like is saying a lot, because once you make basically like loving Disney Channel your job, like, oftentimes you do get sick of the music and whatever, and so the fact that If Only just like never gets old for me, I never get sick of it, like, I feel like speaks volumes as to just the quality of this song and how much I love it. So I'm very happy to see it this high up on this list, and I would love to see it even higher up, so maybe next year that will happen. Who's to say? Man, and the hits just keep on coming, because at number 3 we have On My Own from Teen Beach 2. This one received over 48 million streams this year, which just is another one that makes me so happy because I love this song so much. I know this is a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I mentioned this, I think, last year as well, that I personally love the full-length version that's at the end of the album. I know that's a hot take. Apparently, people love the original because it's more authentic, but I personally like the other version better. That's just how I feel. And so I actually didn't even really contribute to any of the streams on My Own this year, but nonetheless, it still crushed it. Like, 48 million, I think. Might have been 46. I don't know. It's on the screen somewhere. But, like, that's a lot, especially even in comparison to If Only. Like, the streams just keep going up and up and up as we're getting closer to number 1. I am aware about the whole thing on TikTok with, like, people going to the Driver Era shows and asking him to perform this song. And so I feel like that probably played into this song's success this year, but I don't even care. I'm just happy it's getting the recognition that it deserves. Like, number 3, that's a pretty great spot to be. So yeah, that's On My Own from Teen Beach 2. All right, so at number 2, we have, you guessed it, The Climb from the Hannah Montana movie with over 77 million streams this year. Now, I feel like this song is always probably going to be one of the most successful Disney Channel songs of all time, because just like with This Is Me, I feel like it's one of the few Disney Channel songs that was really able to break out of the Disney Channel bubble. This is probably because it was a theatrically released movie, but still, like, I feel like this song really made it into mainstream culture. Like, there's not many Disney Channel songs that you'll hear on the radio, but I feel like The Climb is definitely one of them. Nonetheless, great song. I love it. I'm happy that it is this high, but also part of me is like, will a song ever be able to dethrone The Climb? I mean, I guess there is one song that's able to, but like, how long will that last? Who's to say? But yeah, with all that being said, let's move on to number 1. All right, so High School Musical, the musical of this series, is number 1 again this year with All I Want, obviously Olivia Rodrigo's song from the first season. And just this year alone, it received over 147 million streams. Like, that is just insane. Like, the success that this girl pulls like on streaming platforms is crazy to me. It's just like, I can't even really wrap my head around that many people streaming this song. And yeah, I like this song. I feel like my personal favorite song from the season is still Out of the Old. I still stream that song to this day, and so I can understand why people would still be streaming this song to this day, because like, when it's good, you know, like, it's not gonna get old if it is just quality content. I did see a TikTok recently where someone was critiquing this song in the fact that like Olivia Rodrigo said in the first season, all she wants is a love that lasts. I forget the next line, but that's all she wanted. And then they ruined it in the show and just like had her go away, which like makes sense because she was so successful. But they didn't even give her the end game that she deserved. Like, she fought so hard in that first season for a good boy, and she never got that. How sad is that? I feel like that's pretty sad. But at least she still has this song, which is doing great in streaming numbers. So yeah, that is the top 20 most streamed Disney Channel songs on Spotify for 2022. So let's move on to the top 10 most streamed songs by ex-Disney Channel artists. Well, not artists, but just like ex-Disney Channel people. Or they could be current. Who's to say? But nonetheless, let's move on. So speaking of Olivia Rodrigo, even though she didn't actually release any music this year, I feel like her presence is still very much so here on this list, as at number 10, we have Doppelganger by Joshua Bassett. This song received over 11 million streams this year, and I feel like that's valid. I feel like it's a good song. I listened to it. I enjoyed the music video. I liked the actor that's playing the Olivia Rodrigo doppelganger, as she's from the live-action Kim Possible movie. And I think she's really talented, and I would love to see her in something else. So I hope that that happens one day. But yeah, I enjoyed this song. I think it's good. So I am happy with it being number 10. At number 9, we have one of my personal favorite songs that was released this past year, as it is Mia's Mal de Amor. I believe that this song was featuring Manuel Turizo. I could be wrong, but no, that's right, because I remember him singing his name at the end of the song. He released nothing but bops. I feel like I need to get more into his music. But yeah, this song received over 12 million streams this year, which makes me so incredibly happy. It's probably my second favorite song that Mia released this year, the first, of course, being Lado Triste, as that song has just become my entire brand. I love that song. But yeah, I love Mal de Amor as well. The hook with the Taquil Party, Party pa olvidarte, in after party, posa en un siguiente nivel. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Every time it comes on shuffle, I never skip it. I definitely contributed to the streams on this song this year, and I have no regrets because it's a bop. And if you haven't heard it, highly recommend. Even if you're not into Spanish music, I think you will enjoy it. So yeah, that's number 9. Next up, we've got Miley, as she released a live album this year, and her version of Madonna's Like a Prayer was definitely the standout for a lot of people. It received over 21 million streams, and so I checked it out for this video, and I can 100% see why people loved it so much. Like, the one thing that I love so much about Miley and every cover that she's ever put out is that she has such a way of making all of them so genuine to her. Like, she can really take a song and make it just feel like a Miley Cyrus song, and yeah, I love her. I have such respect for her as a performer. She is so amazing and incredible, and yeah, she's great, and I feel like she deserves just like every bit of praise because she is just incredible. We love Miley. At number 7, we have Youngblood. He put out an album this year, and his single The Funeral received the most streams with over 21 million, which I think is great. I love that for him. And I also love the fact that he is an ex-Disney Channel act. In case you're not familiar, he played Oz on The Lodge, which is honestly one of my favorite Disney Channel fun facts. Like, I'm not too sure why. No, I am sure why. It's probably just because his image is just so polar opposite from like Disney Channel and their values and stuff. And so it just cracks me up that he came from Disney Channel. Or he didn't come from Disney Channel, but like he was on Disney Channel at some point in his career. And so yeah, I listened to this song. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed the like 80s and 90s sort of like influence that I felt like it had, especially in the chorus. I've never really listened to a Youngblood song before, and so I wasn't expecting the sort of like talky, singy sort of vibe that he has. And I'm curious to know if that's always the case or if that was just this song. So please, if we have any Youngblood stans watching, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's number 7. So let's move on to number 6. Next up, we've got Sabrina Carpenter. She also released an album this year with Emails I Can't Send, which I personally feel like is one of the best best pop albums of all time. I am obsessed with this album, and there's many songs from it that made my Wrapped as well. But her most streamed song this year was Because I Liked a Boy, which received over 34 million, which just makes me so happy because I feel like last year her most streamed song was Skin, and I feel like she was a lot lower on this list, and so I'm happy that she was able to make the comeback that she deserved. But also a little bit surprised because I feel like Nonsense has really been gaining some traction recently, which is her most recent single, and it came close to beating Because I Liked a Boy, but it wasn't quite there yet, so I'm curious to see if maybe next year it does surpass it in streams. But nonetheless, I love Because I Liked a Boy as well. I love this whole album. My personal favorite song from it would probably be Read Your Mind, or How Many Things, or Nonsense. I love this whole album. It's iconic. And so yeah, that's Sabrina Carpenter at number 6. At number 5, we've got 29 by Demi, which received over 42 million streams this year. She also released an album, which I didn't personally listen to, but I did hear that it got some great reviews, which I think is cool. And I love that she's kind of going back to her like pop punk era. I feel like that's really fun. The main reason why it does have so many streams was probably because of the trend on TikTok where other people were exposing kind of like toxic age gap celebrity couples and using this song to do it. Really nice to see her speak out about this relationship that she was in, especially when she was defending it when she was younger, but obviously defending it because she was being taken advantage of. But nonetheless, great song. I love it. I almost feel like it deserves to be even higher up on this list, but that's okay. Number 5 is good. So let's move on to number 4. Next up is DNCE with Dancing Feet. They received over 113 million streams with this song, which is great. I love DNCE. I actually only listened to this song like a couple times, but I went back and listened to it for this video and I was like, nah, this song's great, super catchy, and I love the like DNCE vibes that it has. Like I feel like they're very good at being cohesive in their music. Like when you hear a DNCE song, it sounds like a DNCE song, if that makes sense. Maybe that's just because Joe's singing. I don't really know. But either way, I like this song. I was actually a pretty big DNCE fan a few years ago, and so the fact that like Cole was removed from the band kind of made me a bit hesitant to listen to their new stuff. I don't even really know why he was removed. If anyone knows any of the drama, please let me know in the comments down below. I mean, maybe he deserved it. I don't really know. I just know that he was in the band and now he's not. But nonetheless, DNCE, good job. I kind of miss the Jonas Brothers. Like I'm happy that Joe is still able to explore DNCE while being in the Jonas Brothers, and Nick as well with his solo album last year. But part of me is just like, man, I could really go from some new Jonas Brothers music. Like I feel like it's been so long. I know we did get a few songs last year, but I would really like an album. It's been so incredibly long since we got Happiness Begins. And so this turned into just me crying about the fact that we don't have a new Jonas Brothers album, but I'm really, really hoping for next year. Fingers crossed. But yeah, let's move on to number 3. All right, the Queen of Argentina has arrived with Teeny and La Tripote. This song was an absolute banger. I definitely contributed to the streams, which were over 113 million, just like with Dancing Feet. This song's great. I'm obsessed. It's on my Wrapped as well, and I feel like it deserves to be. I love how like Teeny is such an icon for like club bangers that she's able to like make a song about that. Like she's literally like, this is the part where I say teeny, teeny, teeny. Like that's what the song is. Like it's like, remember all those great bangers I made? Here's another one for you guys. And yeah, it's great. I love the music video. I love how she's got some drag queens in it, being her past eras. And yeah, she's an icon and I love her, and I feel so incredibly blessed to say that I actually got to see her live this year, because that is something that I never expected to happen in my life. But I did, and that was great. So Teeny, I love you. There's no way you're watching this, but I'm just letting you know that I love you and you're great. But yes, let's move on to number 2. Okay, so our runner-up this year is Selena Gomez with Calm Down. This one received over 191 million streams, which is amazing, especially because I personally didn't really vibe with this song at first. Like I believe when it came out, I only really listened to it a handful of times, and I was like, that's great. I'm just like not really into it that much, and so I stopped listening to it. And so to see that it still was so successful, I think is really cool. This is a song that she did with an artist called Rima, and I believe that this was one of his own songs. Like he released Calm Down and then he released this remix with Selena, and this one really blew up, which I think is great. I enjoyed this song, and I feel like I have a somewhat newer appreciation for it now that I see that it was so well loved. And so yeah, that's Selena Gomez at number 2. All right, so it's time to talk about number 1, which is Boyfriend by Dove Cameron. This song received 367 million streams this year, and so yep, not surprising that this one is number 1 because it did see such success this year. And I feel like you guys know how I feel about this one. Obviously I'm conflicted because I'm so happy for Dove, and I'm really happy that she's been able to see such success with this song, but then the other part of me is heartbroken in the fact that we had to sacrifice all of her other music in favor of this one and its success. And then I'm just annoyed because I feel like that really shouldn't have been the case. Like they didn't need to delete all of her past works and pretend like this was her debut, especially when like anybody who has a computer and can look up Wikipedia can see that this really wasn't her debut and she had about 6 songs before then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what else to say because I feel like I rant about this song all the time, but I did like it at first. I felt like it was great. I was excited for new Dove music. Then the avalanche that ensued kind of made me change my mind in regards to this song, and now I can't listen to it without being annoyed. So that's great. It also really makes me sad because I feel like every other song that's come after it, I mean only 2, Bad Idea and Breakfast, I feel like are just Boyfriend copycats. And it just makes me sad because I feel like her whole thing was she wanted to find her sound, and so Boyfriend was her finally finding her sound. But I still feel like her other songs have the same sound. Like it doesn't really sound that drastically different. The only change now I feel like is that all of her songs sound like Boyfriend. Whereas I feel like her other songs still had that same sort of sound and that same sort of vibe, but still felt like different and new songs. And it just makes me mad. I could go on and on about this all day, but I won't. And honestly, at this point, I don't really blame Dove for this decision as much as I blame her team and the people behind the scenes. I feel like they're probably more to blame than she is, but it's just hard because she's the face of it all. And so it's like, I just look at her and all I think about is how she deleted all of her songs. Anyways, that is the top 10 most streamed songs from ex-Disney Channel acts and the top 20 most streamed Disney Channel songs on Spotify this year. Let me know down below which songs were on your Wrapped that were also on any of these lists. I can't wait to read all about it. Anyways, Cater Tots, that is all I have to say for today. Hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Man, another day, another Dove Cameron rant under the belt. I feel like I need to stop. Like, nobody cares. But it's just like, she keeps coming up. I keep having to talk about her. I keep having to rant. Anyways.